We have cats. We have rabbits. We have rats. But do we have horses? Now we do. Musume ranked number 5 on my top 5 anticipated gacha games for 2025. Now that I've had a chance to play it for a week, is the game any good? Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Despite having some genuinely exciting moments watching the horse races, seeing the fruit of my labor pay off in the end was really something else. At the same time, Musume breaks a lot of the norms in your typical gacha game that I had a blast trying to figure out its mechanics, yet I have a tough time coming to a conclusion if said mechanics positively or negatively impact my experience. Hi, my name is Psyche, and playing Musume has been one of the most perplexing journeys I've been on. In this first impressions review, I'll be going over my thoughts on this highly anticipated title finally arriving globally, and why it ultimately has left me as confused as ever. Musume is developed by Cygames, who has somewhat of a shaky history in managing games, but still remains one of Japan's largest producers. The game has been in service in Japan since 2021, meaning that it wins the crown for the longest wait time between the global and its native servers, and more than 4 years of gap. Congratulations! I've never seen something like this before, but luckily, the global server will follow an accelerated schedule. The game is an absolute cultural phenomenon in Japan, usually ranking in the top 3 earners monthly, assuming we were to believe the Sensor Tower numbers are correct. Also, just a disclaimer, this review only assumes information from the global launch of the game. I don't know if future updates will change how the game works, but I'm certainly not going to comb through the next 4 years of content to find out. For example, if there's a quality of life feature that will be eventually added but not yet available in the English version, you can let others know in the comments, but I'm going to review the product in front of me right now. This is also a first impressions review, so I won't be privy to information only revealed in the late game. The game has a 95% positive review on Steam, which is extremely unprecedented for a gacha game on the platform. Usually even the most reputable gacha with a Steam release doesn't get this high of a rating. I guess everyone just likes horse girls. Anyways, you are the trainer of a prestigious academy that trains Musume into racing in the big leagues. While the poster girl of the game is Special Week, there are plenty of others that you'll get to train with as well. To comment on the story aspects, the dialogue and other cutscenes within the main and event story are actually really well animated, with full voice acting and expressive movements and camera work. It doesn't feel like rigid NPC models standing around, moving their mouths and blinking occasionally. Considering this was released in 2021, that's pretty impressive. The in-game characters are based on real racehorses in real life. There are all sorts of references to their real-life counterparts, whether it may be the design or their personality. I'm not entirely sure how the horse racing culture works in Japan, but apparently it's a fairly accurate representation of how it works, minus the horse waifus, of course. Put in my name, and of course, the game doesn't allow it. Some of these games think my username is too offensive, but I guess that's just part of life. You don't level your horse girls in the traditional sense with upgrade materials. Well, there are still upgrades you can make, but how you get your Umas to reach their full potential is slightly different. When you first get new trainees, in order to add them to the team, you have to go through the career mode. By spending 30 points of toilet paper, you'll basically run through a simulation of you training with your horse girl during the 3 academy years to be prepped for the finals. Almost like a roguelike gameplay loop. You can set some legacy buffs where your other career runs have accumulated to buff up your stats, and also set 6 support cards. From what I can see, the support cards can actually be pretty impactful in the run, so there's that. Each career has a set of objectives to complete before you can qualify for the actual finals at the end. You're given a set amount of turns where you can either train one of your Uma's stats using energy, recover energy by resting, or improve mood with recreation. Going through each career for each Uma feels unique as their goals and strengths can differ. The racetracks themselves can also have variables that affect your chances of victory, such as the weather, the length of the race, and the strategy that your trainee is using. Interwoven in your career run, there are many random events that can happen, including progress towards becoming friends with the Umas being displayed in their support cards. You can get hint points to get the cost of learning skills cheaper. Summertime, where training and resting work a little differently, and dialogue choices that can somewhat change the outcome of an event. Your Uma also has a mood that can affect race outcomes, and chances to become sick or have their mood lowered and will have to be recovered. If you try to train with low energy, the rate of failure increases and you have to spend a few turns to get back on track. When it's race day, you have one last chance to spend skill points to buy skills, and select a strategy. Basically, you either lead the pack in the front, stay near the front for the push at the end, stay behind and surge ahead later in the race, or lag all the way in the back before rushing ahead. Some strategies work better for certain race lengths. However, once the race starts, you don't actually get to control anything. Sit back and watch your hard work pay off or blow up in your face. Luckily, you don't need to win first place for each race as outlined in the career goals, but the later races will require that. If you lose and think that you have a good shot at winning, you can also use an alarm clock item to rewind time and race again, but you can only do this 3 times per career run. The part that's kind of ambiguous is that you don't know exactly how the statistics worked to result in a victory or a loss, and a lot of the skills and stats don't tell you exactly how much they've improved your odds. I once lost a run while being at 6th place, and after trying again with the alarm clock, my Uma won first. Except I didn't do anything differently. I can see the appeal of training up your favorite horse girls to be the strongest they can be and watching them win, though sometimes the outcome can be influenced by RNG, and there isn't much you can do in those cases. To answer the question, is there skill involved in completing each career? Yes, there absolutely is. If you play the game a lot, you can eventually get a feel of which kind of stats work better for which races, when to buy skills, and how to plan out the academy semesters. If you manage to meet all the career goals, the run is technically won, but you can also compete in the URA finals for more stats. This career is only the first of other career campaigns that will appear going forward. Regardless if you succeed or not, your performance is graded. You can allocate leftover skill points to the Uma, and that version of the career is saved to your roster, in which you can assign that Uma to your team for other modes. I only won a few of the races on my first couple of career runs, and I started to preview what the racetracks look like as well as formulating what kind of build would suit it. Of course, I wasn't about to research how the Uma Musume racing algorithm worked, but I certainly did feel excited rooting for my trainee. Then it kinda hit me. This is an AFK style game, right? I mean, you build up your stats, then just wait to see if your Uma wins. I thought there has to be a reason for its success, so surely there's something I'm not seeing, right? So I set a goal for myself in the first week. I will play until I win the URA final. My first career win was with Vodka, who somehow managed to exceed my expectations despite holding some bad support cards, and I had barely progressed careers at that point. I didn't win any of the URA qualifiers, but hey, guess it was a good learning experience. Also, a side note, we can't forget about the concert. Once you complete a race, you can view the performance of the Umas that participated in an animated music video. As you can see, this is a very manly game. To be fair, the animation quality for these concerts do look very nice. I didn't have to look very far, as I had a lot of luck with Taiki Shuttle. After pulling some rarer support cards, she was able to basically breeze through the majority of the career races. Of course, I thought I'd be a little strategic with skills to capitalize on the weather or racetrack conditions, and sure enough, she completed the career pretty easily. All that's left is the final races. Surprisingly, Taiki Shuttle just dominated the competition. Like, it wasn't even close. So I thought, okay, so I won because of the choices I made during the run, right? Despite me being iffy on the gameplay portion, I found the idea of building up your Uma as a career mode to be pretty interesting. It's sort of like a personalized journey of watching your trainee grow with all sorts of random events thrown in. Although I just kinda started skipping everything later on. It's a unique experience for sure, and I can see how this kind of gameplay can feel rewarding. I just don't know if this is something I would be down to play every single day for the foreseeable future. I never got too deep into stats and skill inheritance, though I know you can get pretty invested into that. There's all sorts of hidden formulas that could determine your success rate that's gonna be unexplainable for newcomers. Speaking of unexplainable mysteries, why is this track on every time I go to the lobby? Although the career mode is just one aspect of Uma Musume, so let's see what else it has to offer. You can participate in 3 daily races per day, in which you can farm for certain upgrade materials. The races play out just like any other race where you select a runner that you've previously completed a career for. Their mood appears to be random, but you have certain items to improve that mood if you really wanted to. You unlock the next tier races when you beat the previous one, and you technically don't have to win in order to get the drops, but you get more if you do. Using 1 unit of RP that refills once every 2 hours, you can do PvP with another trainer's team. You can view the races themselves or skip right to the results. As you perform better in the career mode and add Umas with better stats to your team, naturally your power level will go up. Your Uma's moods are still randomized assuming you don't use an assist item, so if your rating is higher, there's no guarantee that you'll win. While the majority of progression for your roster happens in career mode, you can make upgrades to their star level and potential. Star level increases the level of their skill and slightly increases stats. This means that Umas with more stars will naturally get an advantage in career mode as they just start with more stats. Upgrading potential lets them learn additional skills during a career mode. Rarity doesn't really matter, as you can still win with the 1-star Umas and upgrade them to higher star levels. However, the same cannot be said for support cards. You can level and uncap the cards, with the higher level caps granting more skills and stats. To uncap, you'll need to pull dupes of the cards. These account for the gear slots that you can fit 6 of when starting a new career. Arguably, the support cards can influence the outcomes of the career at a larger scale than the actual trainee, and will be what the meta revolves around. Luckily, the global server already knows what to expect, as the JP server is 4 years ahead. You also get a welfare SSR card from the current event, so that's pretty cool. You'll be grinding quite a lot for the max limit break copy though. Your dailies in this game actually takes a while to do, as it asks for a full completion of a career. Even if you skip everything, it'll still take you around 15 to 20 minutes, assuming you get far or you win. TP and RP actually recover fairly quickly, so if you want it to be optimal, you would have to sign in at least twice a day to tend to your horses. How do we adapt more Uma Musume to the roster? Well, that's where the gacha comes in. Given that I've played during the global server's launch, naturally, I got a fairly big bonus in the amount of goodies given out. There will be a banner type for both horses and support cards. The base chance for an SSR Uma is 3%, SR at 18%. The rarity determines the star level that the Uma starts with, but as stated before, you can still get very far with even our rarity trainees. The pity is a spark system at 200 pulls, where you gain a token every time you pull on a banner, and with 200 units of it, you can exchange for the unrate up character. However, the spark does not carry over to other banners, nor does it carry over to the next. When the banner expires, any leftover tokens are converted to a clover currency, which has its own respective shop. Some of the shops do contain the shards needed to limit break an Uma, but it doesn't appear to be the same way for cards. So if you already own a copy, you can work towards more star levels, assuming you have the patience to wait. Pulling once will require carrots. Pretty fitting. In fact, a lot of the other consumable items also share the same theme of carrots. This means to guarantee a rate up SSR, you'll need 30,000 carrots to hit the spark. Unfortunately, the rate up chance is not a 50-50. If you look on the drop rate list, where you have to open in a separate browser for some reason, the rate up chance is 0.75%, meaning it's a 1/4 off the 3%. The exact same rules work off the support cards banner as well. I know some Japanese gachas do this, so you're gonna have to pray to RNGesus for an early drop. The cash shop is your typical whale packs with the bloated pricing, as well as some conveniently priced packs for $15 or so for your guaranteed SSR banners. It doesn't bombard you with flash sales or anything ridiculous, so it's fine overall. I think Uma Musume embodies the idea that if you have a concept so unique and absurd, it might just work, such as ones that turn all sorts of anthropomorphic things into anime waifus. Despite being 4 years late on the global release, the game is onto one of the strongest starts I've seen. A lot of Uma Musume's mechanics are unlike anything I've played in a gacha game, and I can see how the rewarding nature of watching your training pay off can be exhilarating. I guess a lot of people were looking into a different experience than your typical gachas. Overall, I did enjoy winning the finale a few times, and I think I made good progress on my account. It's one of the few gacha games that has left me conflicted on what to think though. This can be one of the grindier gachas out there if you want to min-max your team ratings and inheritance points. Not to mention that the rate in which TP recovers is actually enough to play through 5 career runs in a single day. The question is, do you really have that much time? After a week of playtime, I gotta say, that was pretty fun, but I'm out. I feel that Uma Musume bears a lot of weight due to its cultural significance and the sheer absurdity of its concept. It's charming in a way where it feels you have a lot of agency in actually planning out the careers, and when you see all the skill triggers during the race, you know you did something right. While you can't control anything during the race, the decisions made in the training portions can contribute to your success, and it goes one step further than your typical auto-battler. I prefer gameplay with a bit more control with what I'm doing, but I can understand the appeal. Congratulations, Uma Musume. The highest honor I can bestow is that I don't know how to think of you. That might even be a greater achievement than getting a perfect score. In the end, Uma Musume gets my first impressions rating of try it. Now, my own speculations on how well the global server of the game will go is that it will be supported by a sizable player base, but after the initial wave of social pressure to play the game is over, a lot of players will realize that the game is either just too grindy or not what they're looking for playing long term. Nonetheless, I don't doubt for those that are interested in the game, there's not going to be any risk of the servers going down, unlike a certain other Cygames title that was handled by a different publisher. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what your experiences of playing Uma Musume are. I have also opened up a Patreon page for those wanting to support the development of this channel and my work. There's only one level to pledge, and it's $2 a month. Please don't feel pressure to pledge anything, as my content will always be available for everyone. But I appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching, remember to spend moderately, and have fun out there.